Hey everyone, my name is Danny Doomsday Beauty, but you can just call me Danny. So today I'm going to be doing a makeup video where I'm going to do how I used to do my makeup versus how I do it now. So without further ado, let's start the makeup challenge. Okay, so the first step of my makeup routine, doesn't matter when I started, was primer. Okay, so what I use right now is the Dior Backstage, Dior Backstage Face and Body Primer in Universal. Does this do anything? Let's see what the audience thinks. Let's put some here, here. And I'm just gonna lightly just blend it in to my skin. The next step of my makeup routine is to color correct. And today I'm going to be using the Kimchi Chic The Most Concealer in the shade Orange. So, just gonna take a little bit. It's just there to correct the undertones that are occurring. Next, we're gonna go into foundation. I'm just gonna give you guys a little disclaimer. I'm not very good at matching my skin color with my foundation. It's a struggle, you know, struggle bus. Okay, I'm using the Laura Mercier foundation in 5N1 Pecan. And because this foundation does not match. Well, does it though? I don't think it matches my skin tone. I'm just gonna mix a little bit of my concealer with it. And I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Sculpt Concealer. So, I'm gonna start with some on the cheek, a little bit on the forehead, some on the other cheek, center of the face. And I'm just going to get the rest that's on my hand, you see over here on my beauty blender. So we're just going to blend that out, and you can tell, you can see that's orange. That is orange. Next, I'm going to contour my face with some liquid. I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place Concealer in shade 7. Take a little bit of the concealer. I'm just going to put it right there, just a little bit. You see that dot? You don't need that much. And then I'm going to take a duo fiber brush, blend it like such, and blend it forward. And then bring it up a little bit, because I do like a little bit of more snatched contour. Beautiful. And then I'll take whatever's left on the brush, bring down and kind of do a soft contour of my jawline. And next, I'll do my forehead. So kind of like the same idea, a little dot of this concealer just over there. I like to blend inwards and also down, doing a little bit more blendy blends. Excellent. Now, here's when the hurt begins. I just felt like when I started doing makeup, more contour means more beautiful, which is not necessarily the case at all. So I remember, I don't know if I want to do this. Here we go. The way that I used to do it, the way that I used to contour is very different from how I do it now. So here we go. I'd make like a line coming in, and then I'd make like a line going down like this. This is giving me flashbacks, guys. And then I'd make like a line over here. This is crazy. This is crazy. This isn't gonna blend out, guys. I don't. So for this part, I would take my sponge, the side that I use my foundation on, and I wouldn't blend it up or anything. I just blend like this. Guys, this is too much. Who told me that this looked good? I want to know. Who told me? Because this is crazy. You guys, this is so bad. Why did I think this looked good? Why? Why did I do this? I did this for what? Okay, let's... Oh, one thing I remember so vividly about my forehead was that there's no shape to it. It was just like a brown line on my forehead. A brown line. And I thought this looked good. To who? Okay, anyway, so this is the contour. Comment down below which you believe is the best one. Is it my current one or the Hurt Locker? Let's ask the audience. Let's see what the audience thinks. Okay, so now I'm going to conceal. I'm going to be using the Too Faced Multi-Sculpt Born This Way concealer in the corner here. And they kind of like bring it on the side of the nose. And then I take a little bit and kind of like lift out. And then I do a little bit over here, highlight the bridge of my nose, a little dot. I do a little bit on my chin and just a little bit on the top of my lip. Now I'm going to blend. We're going to use the same sponge. All right. I'm quite happy with how that's blended. So let's move on to how I used to do my concealer. The main issue with my concealer was that it was so light compared to what my actual skin tone was. And I used to put so much on. It's already with the contour, it looks not good. So what I used to do was this full-on triangle that everyone used to do, and then I'd bring it down to the top of my lip and kind of like angle it like that. It was so much, guys. It was so much. And just to drive home how light my concealer used to be, I'm just gonna add some white concealer from Attribution-ShareAlike Beauty. Here we go. This is insane. This is crazy. All right, here we go. Oh, it's just so bright. Like, this is so bright. I'm just gonna take what's left here. I remember I used to like, blend out this concealer really far out. And now I'm gonna do my brows. Now, can't you tell I'm already dreading doing my other side? Who was I fooling with this? Why did I do this to myself? So next, what I would do is carve out the brows, and this is something that I still do. If you carve out your brows, good for you. So the powder I'm going to use is the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm just going to take on like a brush like this, and not a lot. I'm just going to smooth it under the eyes and blend it out over the nose. And then I'm going to take a little bit more and just do the forehead. Now, I used to bake. And not like just like the normal amount, like, ooh, just a little bit of powder, you know, just to bake, let it cook. No, I used to bake. I would get some powder on my lid. Oh wait, before I did this, forgot to do something. I remember I used to put concealer under my cheek. Okay, yeah, there we go. What we're gonna do is
walk away.
We're gonna bake. I used to bake more than a bakery. Like, pastry chefs, hold your wigs, hold your chef's hat, because I used to bake so much. So I just take the powder on the sponge, wouldn't pat it off, no nothing like that, and I would just, so I would press it on like so. So we're just gonna, a bunch of powder. I remember I used to pack it on. I used to bake underneath my chin, not underneath my chin, underneath my cheekbone, you know, bake it. I like to bake my forehead. This is something I actually still do, but I don't put this much powder normally. And then more powder on the chin area over here. So what I'm gonna do now is bronze, and I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker bronzer in Caramel Cutie, or Caramel Cutie. What do you guys say? Do you say caramel or caramel? And kind of like start from the back and blend forward and not taking it too far in, but just a little inwards. I like to do my forehead, kind of make it look like I went to the beach. Nicki Minaj.
Who am I? Let's go to the beach. Nicki Minaj.
And then I take what's left on the brush, I kind of hit the back of my jawline and blend. Then I will also contour my nose at the same time. Just when you thought the contour was bad enough, I would add more. So I'm using this pretty beat up NYX contour palette, and I dig into the deepest shade here. You see, dip. And this is the same brush that I used to use. It's like this really fluffy, like angled brush. I just really go in, tap, and then I just, I don't know about this, guys. I would just go for it. Really put it on. This looks fine for drag. This is crazy. And then also the forehead. And you already know how atrocious this forehead is. Is that the look? Is this brown stripe the look, guys? Can it get any worse from here? Yes, it can actually. So the way that I used to contour my nose was like with this really stiff brush. And I'll just go into a lighter contour shade. You see this one over here? Tap. Tap off some excess. So I'd go from the tip here. This is not the tip, this is the near here. And I'll just run it here and just really bring in that, this is, and I wouldn't really bring it in, I'll just kind of, I think there must have been black shadow on this. Was there black shadow on this? Okay. This is not it. This is not it. This is simply not it. Alright, so now we're gonna do a little bit more powder just to help with this nose contour. And then I'm gonna do the other side, how I used to do it. And a little bit up here. Alright, and then what I do, I take a brush like this and I like to just highlight my nose ever so slightly, just over here on the tip here. So this is the point where I would do my eye makeup. I'm gonna prime my eyelids using the Too Faced concealer. Also, I'd use some concealer. So now let's do some eyeshadow, shall we? So today I'm gonna use my good old trusty Soft Glam from Anastasia. So what I'm gonna do is
Walk away.
I'm gonna take a mix of burnt orange and sienna on a really fluffy brush. I'm gonna use that as my transition shade. Now, the other side, what I would do is very similar, using the same colors, but I would make like a different shape. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take something not as fluffy, a little bit denser and a little bit more precise. I'm gonna dip into the shades Rustic and Cypress Umber just to create some depth and some structure in my eye. After I did that, I'll just take the previous blending brush, not adding any product to it, and we're just going to buff out the edges. Now, what I used to do to define the crease and make it deeper is that I'd do something crazy. I'd take a flat brush and I'd go into, let's say, the same colors that we did. And I'd bring on the lash line, bring it in, and blend upwards, and then just go like this. No rhyme, no reason, just going in with that flat brush. Like, what was I doing? What was this? And then what I would do, I'd go into the black shade, it's called Noir, and I just do the same thing. And then I'll just take my fluffy brush and just blend the edges. There. That's what I used to do. I think I may take a little bit of the black shade with the previous brush I was using, just to add a little bit of depth on the outer corner. So next, I think what we're gonna do is cut the crease. All right, here we go. What I like to do now is start from the inner corner of my eye and going up, and kind of like keeping my eye open to see what it looks like when my eye is open. I like to go about like up until the outer third. I'll just take some concealer and just do the rest, you know? Just fill it in, cut it out. So what I used to do is start at the inner corner, and I would just go where my eye fold is and call that a cut crease. So I'm just following my eye fold. So I cut my crease over here. Yeah, following the crease where my eyelid folds into my eye, and just kind of like stopping halfway. And then what I would do to fill in that crease, just get your finger and I'd go into the bronze shade right here, just put it on there, and then I'd call it a day, you know? I like to use multiple different like shimmers to add like dimension and make it a little more interesting. The one palette that I've been reaching for a lot lately is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation eyeshadow palette. So I'm gonna go in with this green shade first. Ooh, look at that green. Oh. And then I'm going to use this bottom shade in the corner here. And we're just going to place that on the other parts of my lid. Now, so we kind of have these colors placed on my lid. I'm going to go back into the green, and I'm just going to slightly blend these two colors together, so we have a nice like gradation from one to the other. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that fluffy brush that we used to do the transition, and we're gonna take the same colors, burnt orange and sienna. We're just gonna run those underneath my lash line. And then I'm gonna do the same, the other side. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this pretty small brush. We're gonna dip into, let's take Fairy. Fairy looks quite beautiful right here. And we're going to take that and just highlight the inner corner. I'm gonna do the same on both eyes. All right, now let's do some liner. My liner journey, just like anyone else, has been a journey. And I really like to use liquid liner like a felt tip like this. This is the One Size Point Made Bodacious Black liquid eyeliner. And what I do now is I kind of go from the outside and I just flick up, kind of like that. And then I'll take it from the top over here and just swipe in. And then from there, just go from the front and meet the line, like that. Now, how I used to do it, I didn't do a flick, so I wouldn't get like a good, like, fine point like I did over here. So what I'd do, I'd start from the end and just like did that. And like you can see how it's not very defined, the point over here. And I never really understood how to get that point until I was watching Robert Welsh, and he explained how when you flick it, you're kind of creating a point, whereas if you're starting from the end, you're never gonna get a really sharp point. And then I just brought it in. Ooh. So if you're gonna take anything away from this video, just take away the flick. Now, I'm going to do mascara off camera, and then let's talk about lashes. Alright, so for lashes, I like right now a really dramatic lash like this. This is quite dramatic. So what I used to use was the Ardell Demi Wispies, and those were barely a lash on me. Like, I have a pretty big head, and those lashes were not the tea. So I have these lashes also from CB Lash Co, and they're quite subdued compared to my go-to lash. So I'm gonna apply these lashes off camera, and then we're gonna finish the rest of the face. Okay, the lashes are on, and now we can go into the rest of the face. Let's go in with blush. I'm going to be using the Buxom Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush in Mykonos, and I'm gonna take it on a fluffy brush. And I really like to start with my blush on my cheekbone, and then just blend it forward a little, and then I like to come from the temples and blend upwards, and then a little bit on the nose and bring it up the bridge. Now let's go to the way that I used to do my blush, and it's different. So right now I like to come from the back and pull forward, and I don't really enjoy putting it on the apples of my cheeks because I feel like it brings down the highlighted area. So the way that I used to do my blush is kind of like the opposite that I do now. And I'm going to take this Cover FX Monochromatic Blush Duo in Spiced Cinnamon. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to start on the apples on my cheeks. So I'd start here and kind of blend it in with my contour. And you can kind of see already how much this is dragging down this part of my face. Yeah, so you can see over here it's very lifted, but over here it's very like heavy. It looks heavy, you know? Let's add some highlighter. I'm gonna take the Anastasia Amrezy highlighter. It is limited edition, but it's just so beautiful, guys. It's so beautiful. If you're able to pick this up when it was for sale, congratulations. So I'm just gonna take some on this huge fan brush, and I'll just go in with highlighter, and I would put so much. Ooh, yeah, that seems like the amount I would put on. But now what I like to do is I take on a really fluffy brush, tap a little bit, tap off the excess, and I like to just put some right here, and then I'll blend it into the temple, blend up the side of the forehead. And something I always do is just Cupid's bow. And now we're gonna highlight the nose. So my nose highlight isn't that crazy. I like to just add a little bit here, and then just a touch on the tip of the nose. So now that I've done my eyes, blush, and my highlighter, let's do lips. Let's do some lips, shall we? So what I used to like was red lipstick. I'm going to be using the Miss Fame Beauty lipstick in the shade The Other Woman. Now, if you're familiar with my Instagram page, you know I love a glossy lip. So what I'm going to do is take my well-loved NYX Cosmetics matte lip liner in the shade San Francisco. Like, as you can tell, I love this pencil. So what I like to do is start with the top lip, and then I'm just going to fill in the rest of my lip. So it's like a very pretty, like, pinky nude peach color. Now I'm gonna take my favorite gloss, Kimchi Chic Wet Gloss with Plumper, and this one is in the shade Atlanta. You can see, ooh, how glossy that lip is. So finishing touch, I like to just add a little bit more setting spray. So the same Milani Make It Dewy. And we're just going to let that sink in. And then this is the final look. Alright, so What do you think? Which side do you think is the winner? Is it how I used to do my makeup, or is it how I do it now? Let me know. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. It would mean the world to me. And also check out my Instagram profile and my TikTok profile. Both are Danny.Doomsday Beauty. Thank you. Bye.